I mean, that's an incredible game on so many levels, so many ranges of emotion. If you like October baseball, if you like any kind of baseball, that's one of the most incredible games that you'll ever be a part of.
In terms of the home runs, Gonzalez, Correa, Springer, Altuve, 4 guys with 4 swings that in many ways changed this entire series.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, well, there were some homers on their end too. So this was a night. Obviously, the ball's carrying, a lot of big time players stepping up and getting big swings. But I'm just glad the last out we got to it. I mean, this was a hard game to finish, obviously for both teams, and some really really key hits that honestly it's hard to put into one game, let alone one series.
Second row, AJ.
AJ, what's going on your bench while this thing is swinging wildly back and forth, and what do you think kind of carried you through with some great swings against a great bullpen?
Well, did you see the emotion on the field tonight? I mean, both teams, both swings of emotion, incredible, key moments in the game. There's more of them that I can even remember. So on the bench, we were in it. I mean, we were in it from the beginning. Justin Verlander was very good. We don't even talk about him. He starts the game and gives up 2 hits and has to exit National League style, and then the game got really interesting. Marwin Gonzalez kicked it all off. We're not here if Marwin Gonzalez doesn't hit a ball to dead center field against the best closer in baseball. So obviously our guys were way in it, and obviously it's as upbeat and positive clubhouse as you'll ever get.
To your right, AJ. Third row, Michael.
Their bullpen and their closer was their most consistent strength over the last 3 weeks. Do you feel better headed back to Houston knowing they're beatable? They're not. They have a chink in their armor a bit.
Well, we didn't come to LA thinking we couldn't beat them. We obviously proved it that we can put some really good at bats together against really good pitching. But they've had the best bullpen in baseball this postseason and much of the season. So we know it's a challenge anytime those guys are going to get in there when they get the lead. I mean, Doc showed it today. He's going to go to the matchups as soon as he feels that he's got a little bit of an advantage. So, we know no matter where you go in that bullpen, you're going to find somebody that's had success, somebody that's good, somebody that can get out specifically when they match up correctly. So, that's why it's so important to get the lead. Now, keeping the lead seemed to be a little harder than even getting the lead for us. But again, that's one of the many reasons why they're here.
On the far back, Eric.
AJ, going back to the ALCS, you were getting questions about possibly dropping Springer.
I mean, about 2 hours or 4 hours ago, I was getting questions about Springer.
Well, continuing into this series, what gave you the confidence that this type of game was?
He's an incredible player. I mean, I don't really ride the roller coaster with players. You got to believe in what these guys can do, not what they're not doing. If you respond to every bad game or tough game, I mean, you'll bounce these guys around and ruin their confidence in a heartbeat. This is one of our best players. And there's no need to panic over a bad night against Clayton Kershaw. And I don't care if it's a bad night against any pitcher. This game is really, really hard. Our guys and the Dodgers make it look really easy, but it's a hard game, and there's a ton of failure involved. So I believe in players, and I specifically believe in George. And tonight is an example why he wasn't broken. His swing's not bad. He's not gone for the series. He had a bad night and came back with one of the best nights.
Left center aisle, 4 rows back.
Hi, AJ.
All right, and there.
Congratulations for your first inning in World Series in your franchise.
Yes.
And
I feel like a record setter tonight, and I want to break my own record.
Since you went to 11 innings, did you think winning first time in a World Series was harder than you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, getting this win was hard, and obviously it's a long time coming for an organization that's been to one other World Series, but records are made to be broken. We can break it Friday night, and I'd be perfectly happy.
In the back, Richard, I believe.
AJ, would you talk about Giles and staying with him and how you were navigating that in your mind when
yeah.
backing out?
No, I mean, what would have been interesting is he was left on deck the inning before, and I had Davinsky up. Was I going to hit for him? Was I not? We'll never know. But Ken Giles, it comes down to finishing the inning and making pitches. The walk was tough. The walk to Forsythe was a key part of that inning. But he can handle the workload. His stuff is really good. As shown, it was just a difficult game to finish, and we needed guys to pick up the pieces. I thought Kike Hernandez, who does not handle right-handed pitching as well as he does left-handed pitching, comes up with a big base hit through the 4-hole. So again, you credit the people that stepped up and had performance, but Kenny will be handing the ball again with the lead in this series if we can.
Would you talk about the emotions in your dugout as you had it, got away, you had it again, TV?
Well, I like the positive reactions more than I like them, them coming back.
But you hung with it.
Yeah, these players don't quit. We're not going to concede anything. This is the time of our life and on the biggest stage, and we're chasing something that for your whole lifetime seems unattainable. And here we are, a couple wins away from bringing a championship to Houston. So, and they got guys on the other side that are doing the same thing. So, no one's going to get too ahead of themselves. No one really is going to concede an at bat or an out or an inning, or certainly not a game. So. The emotions were exactly what you would expect out of Game 2 of the World Series. It was upbeat, positive, and grinding through a spectacular game.
Joined by one of the Astros stars, George Springer.
Whoa!
Snuck up on me.
We'll take two more for AJ, and then we'll get to George. I think Ken and Allison, and one over there, and then we'll talk to George after.
AJ, could you just walk us through your thoughts as you see Davinsky make that pickoff throw and then it hits Laz?
Yeah, we were pretty unlucky at the beginning of the game when Taylor dove in center field and it hit him in the face or head and kicked right to Peterson. So I feel like the baseball gods were returning the favor by having an umpire stand in the way there on that ball. So it's a great idea to have the pick when the emotions are high and the anxiousness is going and you want the runner to try to get off to try to score on a single. It's a great time for Jose to put that on. The throw was a little high, obviously. Laz was perfectly positioned, right where we wanted him.
The back left.
AJ, you've spoken about belief, and you guys were written off, in the last series as well against the Yankees. Can you just explain that, that never say die attitude amongst the club?
Well, these series are long. I don't know why anyone would race to a conclusion other than trying to be right faster, and you're usually going to be wrong if you make an assumption on any team, especially this time of year. These are two incredible teams that are going to fight 7-game series. You got to win 4. We've each won 1. That doesn't mean it's going to be over in 5, but it could be. I mean, that's the reality of these series. So we're just not going to ride the emotion of hot, cold, and belief and non-belief. We're going to stay believing. We're going to try to win Friday night and worry about the rest of the series after that.
We'll take a last one from AJ for Allison.
Just to further on the fact that you guys hadn't won a World Series game before, and this is the first one. Is that something that is important to the organization that people have been talking about? Does it mean something to you that you're the manager for this first game?
Not the first one. I want the 4th one. I think the 4th one's a big one that we hope to bring home to the city.